Ladies and gentlemen, from the Beverly Hilton Hotel, welcome to A Party for Richard. And now, here's our host, Eddie Murphy.
Thank you, and welcome to A Party for Richard. Tonight, a few of Richard's friends have come here to say hello and wish him well and talk a little bit about what has made Richard Pryor a legend. First, I'd like you to meet some of Richard's special friends. Sugar Ray Leonard, Tommy the Hitman Hearn, George Foreman, Muhammad Ali, and here with his friend Chevy Chase, another world champion, Mr. Richard Pryor. That was funny. He tried to act like he didn't know he was supposed to sit. He worked that applause. Yes. It worked. So, I love you, Richard, because without you, there's no me, brother. I just want you to know that. And you came down with some tough bodyguards. You got better bodyguards than me. I just got more. Let's get the evening started with a man who thinks about as much of you as you think of him. Ladies and gentlemen, the godfather of soul, Mr. Dynamite, James Brown!
that's Eddie Murphy, man. You got to see him do James Brown. You know. I mean, I'm not the greatest admirer of somebody that's doing my thing that deep. From what I heard.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 40th President of the United States. Yeah, what is it?
Mrs. Fenton Carlton Macker, Christian Women's News. Mr. President, since you've become president, you've been seen and photographed on the arms of white women. Quite frankly, sir, you've been courting an awful lot of white women. Will this continue?
As long as I can keep it up. I mean, why do you think they call it the White House?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Richard Pryor Show. My name is Richard Pryor, and I'm so happy to have my own show. I don't know what to do. I could jump up and down and sing Yankee Doodle. I'm telling you, it's going to be a lot of fun. You know, there's a lot of things written about me. People wondering if I'm going to have a show, if I'm not going to have a show. Well, I'm having a show. People say, well, how can you have a show? You've got to compromise. You've got to give up everything. Is that a joke or what? Well, look at me. I'm standing here naked. I've given up absolutely nothing. So enjoy the show.
No one knew when Richard was 3 that he would grow up to be like a big star, so nobody really kept track. But fortunately, Richard kept track of his life with his comedy, and he's talked about it and made films about it, and about his remarkable journey through life. And, oops, sorry. Here, then, is Richard Pryor's childhood, as shown by Richard Pryor and JoJo Dancer, a film he produced, directed, wrote, and starred in. It's the story of his own life. Check it out. Richard Franklin Lennox Thomas Pryor was born in Peoria, Illinois.
I lived in what you call the ghetto, as I was expressing in the ghetto. I may look white, but wait till the night I'm a nigga.
My family was in business. My grandmother and them owned like 3 or 4 brothels, so there was money in the family.
This little boy played Richard in JoJo Dancer, a film about Richard's life. Watching him, we share some of the pain of Richard's childhood.
It was hell because I had nobody to talk to. I was a child, and I grew up seeing my mother go in the rooms with men, and my aunties go in the room with men. Now, I used to peek through keyholes and watch people make love. Not love, but to me, it was love.
As a result of all these experiences, Richard grew up in a hurry. He began working in local clubs and did well. At 19, he decided to leave Peoria and go to New York and try to make it as a comedian. It was a young man setting off on a lonely journey. But Richard wasn't lonely for long. Soon people saw and heard about him. He began making guest appearances on television.
When I was a little kid, I remember watching television and seeing like Richard Pryor, and I remember like that lit the spark in me, you know? And that made me want to do what I do. And I think the first thing he ever did was the Rudy Valley show on Broadway tonight. Check it out.
For the first time on television, Richard Pryor.
I'm going to tell you a few things about myself because a lot of you probably don't know me. I'm not a New Yorker. My home's in Peoria, Illinois. And I had a wild neighborhood, I got to tell you, because my mother's Puerto Rican and my father's Negro, and we lived in a real big Jewish tenement building in an Italian neighborhood. Every time I go outside, the kids say, "Get him, he's all of them."
Women's News.
Richard Pryor, and you're going to enjoy...
I'm sorry.
Yes, Richard.
I'm sorry.
What
I want to do a quick impression. It's very quick and it's very cute, and you'll love it.
what sort of an impression of what?
It's my impression of the first man on the sun.
Uh-huh. Let's see it. Uh-huh. How do you like it?
I was in the Army, that's right. I was serving my country. It was either that or 6 months. I was in Fort Leonard Wood. I was a cool marcher, though. I had my stuff together on the marching. Hop, hap, hop, 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 hap, hop, hop, hap, cool. Hop, hop, hap, 2, 3, hop, hap.
About a few months ago, I was on Tonight Show, right? And I was talking to Johnny Carson. He's my pal, kind of buddy, kind of. You know, I was sitting there. I was just talking regular and I said, you know, John, I got to go to the doctor because I can't see out of his eye and it's going blind, you know? So I'm going to the hospital, losing weight and stuff. I can't gain it back. And then the next day, this lady from the newspaper called one of my ex-wives and said, what do you think's wrong with Richard? She said, I think he has AIDS. Guaranteeing that I will not get no sex to the year 2025.
I think in all the interviews I've done with comedians, when you ask who is your idol, the name most mentioned is Richard Pryor, from Eddie Murphy to Robin Williams. They all say Richard Pryor. He is to comedy what Elvis is to music, I guess. I remember one night at the Comedy Store, and Richard might remember this situation. There was a comic who was struggling, as we all are at some point, and it was cold out. I think his name was Dave Tyree, if I'm not mistaken. And Richard saw him standing like this, and we would stand in the cold and listen to Richard talk, and he used to hold court and all the comics would listen, and the guy was like this, and Richard said, you need a jacket, and gave him the leather coat that he was wearing. Richard just took the coat off and handed it to Dave. And you always hear about people giving the shirt off their back. I saw him give his jacket away, and the funny part about it, because there's always a funny part when it's involving Richard, the next night, Richard came to the Comedy Store to practice his act, and he said, Dave, I got to have that jacket back. And he said, my wife was very mad that I gave that jacket to you. I have to take the jacket back. And Dave gave him the jacket back, and I learned something that night. Not only does Richard have a great heart, but he has no idea what kind of women to pick. We've had some fun, and from the days that you let me sit on the JoJo Dancer set and you said, just watch, to the days you followed me and Patti LaBelle to different venues and gave me advice and told me what to do and what not to do. You're a brilliant man and a wonderful humanitarian. We love you, Richard, and there'll never be another. Thank you. Later.
Thank you very much. Thank you. That's such a talented young man, Arsenio Hall. Very talented young fellow. Before we go any further, y'all know that's my man. Before we go any further, I'd like to explain what this evening is about. It's not Richard's birthday, and it's not his anniversary in show business. And he hasn't won any awards recently, and he's not retiring, and he's not dying, and nothing like that. I know the last time we did something like this was to say farewell to somebody that really meant a lot to us. It ain't that kind of trip. All those the same producers. I know you was nervous when you got that caller, wasn't you, Rich? And Rich, we like to throw one for you this year. Can you imagine, Richard? Y'all gonna have to get another guest honor. Kiss my ass. No. Since when does anyone need a reason for a party anyway, right? We don't need no reason. We got reasons that we love you, that's all. And when you have a party, you have gifts, right? So I'll give to you. We know your favorite singer and your favorite song is Bobby Womack's song. So Mr. Bobby Womack's gonna sing your favorite song to you. Mr. Bobby Womack!
Richard and I would like to dedicate this song to all the lovers tonight. I want all the lovers to wave their hand. Who am I talking to? Because the way I look at it, I think that's the whole world, and we all need something or someone to love. When it's cold outside, who are you holding? I wonder would y'all mind if I talk about this woman of mine. Is it all right if I talk about her? She's always complaining about me never being at home. But when I'm there, I'm broke. Look at me, I ain't got no money in my pocket. Telling me about the things that her girlfriend's got. What she ain't got, and she want me to go out and get them for her. But girl, I can't be in two places at one time. If you think you're lonely now, oh, wait until tonight, girl, I'll be long, long gone. But you never find another man that'll treat you right. If you think you're lonely now, yeah, wait until the night. Listen to me now. When the skeletons come out of the closet and chase your ass all around the room, and the memories sail out like a ghost and dance around in a slow sad tune. Ah, if you think you're lonely now, girl, you just wait until the night. When I ain't there to rub your back, just remember I made it a known fact. Girl, wait until the night. Have you ever been lonely? Talk to me. Have you ever been lonely? Wait until the night. One more thing. You see, the night's the night. The night's the night when your deeds come out to creep. And that toss and storm, you know doggone well you can't sleep. Whoa. If you think you're lonely now, all you got to do is just wait until tonight.
Thank you. Love you, Richard. As you can see, the room is filled to capacity with celebrities and stars and friends, all paying their respect to Richard. Some of those friendships go way back. This next woman he met in an elevator 18 years ago. Her name is Miss Regina Earborn.
It was in 1973 that I first met Richard, who for some reason was known then as Lightning Bug Johnson. Don't ask me how, but Mr. Lightning Bug and I got trapped in an elevator together. To be stuck in an elevator is frightening enough, but to be there with someone like Lightning Bug Johnson, you can imagine my terror. I mean, being both prejudiced and claustrophobic. There was the smell of danger in the air, and the smell of cheap cologne or cheap muscatel. I couldn't be certain which. I was only certain that it was cheap. He offered me a taste of what he was drinking to relieve my fear. Do you remember, Richard? I took a few small sips, well, swigs, really. Let's face it, I tossed back a few. And soon my fear disappeared, as did all feeling in my fingertips and toes. It was then that I had a consciousness-faltering experience. that I will never forget. Thinking of the devastating effect that cheap wine had on my breath, I popped 2 certs into my mouth and into my windpipe, and I almost choked to death. Luckily, Lightning Bug saved my life by performing a street version of the Heimlich maneuver on me. It's amazing, the bonding thing that can happen when someone performs the Heimlich on you in a stuck elevator. The elevator surveillance camera recorded the entire episode. However, the Heimlich interlude, 18 minutes of somewhat compromising tape, has been mysteriously erased. But the other 3 minutes is practically intact. Please, may we have a good old-fashioned ripple dissolve?
Going to the first floor?
I'm going to the car park on the lower level.
Yeah? What kind of car you got?
I beg your pardon.
I said, what kind of car you got? Figured maybe you could drop me off on Jefferson.
Oh. I don't think so. Something's wrong with the elevator.
Yeah, it's stuck. That's what the trouble is. We're allowed to be in here 4 or 5 months together. Should be formally introduced. My name is Lightning Bug Johnson V. What's your name?
I'm not in the habit of telling my name to perfect strangers. I happen to be Mrs. Audley Earbore III.
Damn. You care for some of this?
Oh, it's unlawful to drink liquor in a public building.
They sold it to me in a public building. I know I can drink it in a public building. One of them just moved. Put some hair on your chest, girl. You ever kiss a black man?
How dare you imply such a notion?
You ever kiss any kind of man?
I'm warning you, you could be in severe trouble.
I'm just playing with you. You know, I'm trying to relax you because I see you got claustrophobia. I don't want you to be upset. Why don't you just relax, take off your clothes.
You must be kidding.
Well, kind of. No, I'm just playing with you, woman. I wouldn't hurt nobody for nothing in the world. I travels a lot, you know. I used to be in the insurance business. Take a chance with Lance. That was my insurance company.
Can anyone hear me?
Don't worry about it. I'm gonna take care of everything. You got to know how to talk to people. I'm getting warm myself in here. Come on, man, get us off this elevator. This is Lightning Bug Johnson, that's who. I'm known to coast to coast. So watch yourself, fool.
What did he say?
He said we're on our way down.
Oh, we are descending.
Yeah, that's going down. That's what we're doing. Zippity-doo-dah.
You're really quite an incredible person.
I may be a wino, but I am a gentleman. Believe that. So I'm gonna give you my card. And if you're ever down Philadelphia way, little expression, I want you to look me up. My motto is you can always share a jug with Lightning Bug. Take care of yourself, because there's my bus. Taxi! Hey, man!
Keep in touch, Mr. Lightning Bug.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sybil Shepherd.
It seems that for almost as long as I can remember, every year or so, there's another fantastic story going around about Richard. He certainly led a life with all the tranquility of an avalanche. But I would like for everyone here tonight to know that Richard Pryor is doing great. Last summer, he had a triple bypass heart operation, and his recovery has been phenomenal due to a program of exercise, therapy, and a lot of clean living. The exercise and the therapy are okay, but that clean living must have been a shock to your system. The exercise is also part of the treatment Richard is undergoing 3 times a week at UCLA in his fight against multiple sclerosis, or MS, as it is commonly known. This is a disease of the nervous system that affects young adults. Its cause is unknown. It is rarely fatal, and there is no evidence that you can catch it from someone else. At this time, over 250,000 Americans have MS, and while there's no known cure, early diagnosis is helpful. Treatments and medications have been developed to reduce the effects of the disease as vital research continues. If you would like more information, call or write National Multiple Sclerosis Society, 205 East 42nd Street, New York, New York, 10017. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Burt Reynolds.
Hello, I'm married to Lonnie Anderson, and I just won an Emmy. And both of which make you very big. I'd like to, I was too hip for the room almost. You know, I want to say a couple of things. Richard, this thing is so good it has its own dandruff. We all know that Richard has occasionally gotten into a little trouble. But his really close friends know that if you're with Richard, sometimes you can actually get into trouble, too. I can best describe this by telling you about one night, one single night, which I spent with Richard. And he knows that I'm a big fight fan, and he asked me if I would like to go to Vegas in a private jet to see hitman Tommy Hearns fight Sugar Ray Leonard, and I said, "Are you crazy?" "Yes." So I drove out to the airport, and a great big limousine came up with 5 of the richest black people I've ever seen in my life. Richard said, "Guys, you remember Burt Reynolds? He used to be big in movies." And then we was getting on the plane, and Richard said, "Sit in the back." So we arrived in Vegas, and we were riding along, you know, from the airport in a limousine, and we drove right past Arsenio Hall. He was just walking along, you know. And of course, this was before, you know, stuff. Anyway, he rolled down the window and said, "Hey, Arsenio, you remember Burt used to be big in movies?" He said, "You just keep walking because he don't want any more black people in the car." I never appeared on Arsenio's show. I don't know why. The fight was one of the greatest fights I've ever seen in my life. And after the fight, well, Sugar won, and Richard said, "Let's go up to their rooms and we'll pay our respects to the guys." And I said, "Great." And so we sailed right through 21 bodyguards with Richard in front, of course, and we went in, and Sugar was lying on the bed, and he had ice on every part of his body. And Richard leaned down and said, "Sugar, you remember Burt? He used to be big in movies, you know?" He said, "He thought Tommy won. But he thought you was the best dancer, and you got most congenial." But you see, I think that Sugar knew that, you know, Richard has a tendency to make those kind of remarks. And so Sugar would have smiled, but his lips were too far away from his mouth. Anyway, you know I love you, and I know how much you care about champions. But champions, world champions, can lose their title. You're never, ever going to lose your title. I love you.
I just want to say that Richard is my friend. He's one of the coolest white people I know. What?
He's not white.
Oh. Well, then, that's why he's so cool. Anyway, Richard, I'm really sorry that I can't be there all dressed up with those elegant people telling all those lies about how sweet and nice and wonderful you are. But I know better. You're a bad, nasty dude, and it's really only because you have such nice, gentle friends like Eddie and Quincy and me that anybody even will even talk to you. I mean, of course, you know that. As a matter of fact, if you didn't owe Eddie money, he wouldn't be here tonight either. But, hey, you are my brother, baby, and I love you. So enjoy yourself. Have a nice party. And please, Rich, try to be a better person,
There's a very popular show on every Sunday called In Living Color. This show is racially mixed but predominantly black. Now, there are a lot of successful black shows on the air today, but this show is unusual because In Living Color was created by, produced by, written by, and owned by a brother, a very young brother, who's a really good friend of mine, and this cat is, and if it wasn't for Richard, none of us would have been able to walk through this door. You know, ladies and gentlemen, a very funny young man, Mr. Keenan Ivory Wayans. Keenan?
I'm a little nervous, not because I'm standing in front of a bunch of people, but everybody else has come out and sort of done their little thing and managed to get through it without getting choked up. And I don't want to be the one to spill over, so this is something that I asked to be a part of. I was invited to come, and I said, no, you got to let me come on and say my piece. I remember when I was about 7. I saw Richard Pryor on the Della Reese show. And I remember the routine he did. He did a thing about being chased home from school by the bully and how the bully beats you up before they ever touch you. And it was how the guy had him in class and looking across the table going, Now, I had just had that same experience. And the reason I was home watching Della Reese because I was scared to go outside. So I'm sitting there watching this, and immediately I said, now I know what's different about me. I want to be like this guy. My mother would wake me up whenever he was on TV. She would come get me and go, that skinny boy's on TV. That's what she used to call him. And I'd rush out and wipe the crust out my eyes just to watch Richard. And I had the privilege of watching him go from the Della Reese show and watching that skinny boy grow into a man. And not just an ordinary man, a very vocal man, a man that brought the black perspective to comedy, something that had never been done before. Not all audiences were prepared for this kind of humor, but Richard was undaunted. He told the pain and struggle of being a black man in a white society. And he also touched on the pride and humor that's on the same side of that coin. Check it out.
I always wanted to be something. I never wanted to be white.
Hope not online.
No, I always wanted to be something different, you know, than a nigger, because niggas had it so rough. I tried to be, you know, a black cat with neat hair. I thought that was the problem, the hair. I said, if my hair was straight, then whitey dig me.
There's 500 people live where I live, and they're brown. And that, I like that because you can sleep at night. You know, because you live around white people in the country, anything could happen. Not that I don't trust white people, it's just that in the night, you know what I mean? I don't know, something happens to white people, you start drinking, and when you hear one of them others go, yee-haw! You know what I mean? It makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up. Because I know what's next. Have any of you ever been to Africa, back to the motherland?
Just something. One person held their hand up way in the back. 2. No, it's just a nice feeling. I know how white people feel in America now. Relaxed. One thing I got out of it was magic I'd like to share with you. You know, it's like I was leaving and I was sitting in the hotel and a voice said to me, said, look around, what do you see? And I said, I see all colors of people doing everything, you know? And the voice said, do you see any niggas? I said, no. And I said, you know why? Because there aren't any. And it hit me like a shot, man. I started crying. I was sitting there, I said, yeah, I've been here 3 weeks. I haven't even said it. I haven't even thought it. And it made me say, oh my God, I've been wrong. I've been wrong. I got to regroup my, I said, I ain't gonna never call another black man a nigger. You know, because we never was no niggas. That's a word that's used to describe our own wretchedness. And we perpetuate it now because it's dead.
But this is what I wanted to say. I've seen Richard on the stage at the Comedy Store, and I remember Arsenio saying, yo, man, I'll introduce you. You want to meet him? I said, no. I remember going to the set of Harlem Nights, and Eddie going, come on, man, I'll introduce you. I said, no. And the reason was that I never wanted to meet Richard as a fan. I wanted to do something. I wanted to accomplish something so I could say, you did this. So now, I'd like to meet you.
Hi. Hi, Richard. Remember me from the movies? I'm sorry I can't be with you tonight, but I think you'll be happy with the reason why. I'm holed up here trying to put the finishing touches on that film I'm writing for us, the one we talked about so much. The story of the Flying Walendas. A tale of life, death, and comedy on the flying trapeze. We're trying to get Dolly Parton and Roseanne Arnold to star with us, so keep your fingers crossed. You know, it occurred to me yesterday that even though we've made 4 movies together over 15 years, and most people think we know each other very well, we really don't, do we, Richard? Seems strange to say. And when I ask myself, what do I know about you? The answer always comes back, I know the me that's inside you. Or rather, I know the you that's inside me. Someone who's both shy and aggressive, someone who's always sad and sublimely happy. If someone were to ask me why I love you, the answer is something you might not expect. Do you remember one day during our lunch break, during See No Evil, Hear No Evil, I took you to the Museum of Modern Art to see the painting by Van Gogh called Starry Night? Do you remember, Richard? And a PR woman sat with us on the ride over, and you were very cool towards her. When we got out of the car, you said, was I rude to that lady? And I said, yeah, a little. Why was that? And you said, I was jealous of her. I didn't want her intruding on our time together. That's one reason why I love you, that you could say something like that right out loud. And then we stood in front of Starry Night, and I was nervous, waiting for your reaction. And after about 5 or 6 seconds, you said, good. That's nice. And then all of a sudden, You wandered over to another painting by someone I never even heard of, and you called out to me, Gene. Oh, Gene, look at this. Did you ever see anything like this in your life? And now that other painter is one of my favorites. Lastly, but not leastly, I love you because you're silly, and you don't apologize for it. You know, the great danger of an evening like this is that there can be a terrible letdown the next day after a night of such elation. But I don't think that will happen to you. Most actors hear the applause and think it's because everyone loves them, but it's really their performance they love. But in your case, it's not only your performances we love. We do actually love you, even if we don't know you very well.
And now here's another friend of Richard's, and this friend is going to read from the Book of Wonder.
How you doing, Eddie?
I'm fine. Don't.
What is this stuff about you talking about me
Come on,
driving
man.
a car?
Do this Richard thing. Don't bother me, man. Come on, man.
I told the world I was gonna blind handle this guy.
Come on, man. Do the Richard thing. Let me go in the back. Come on, man. Chill. I'll be in the back.
So now you know where she's coming from. Hey.
Oh,
you hear in the news, blind man beats Eddie Murphy's ass.
Oh, my God.
Richard, I'm here. Not as a comedian, but as someone who, since hearing you at the age of 17, had a great desire to meet you someday, and I was blessed with that opportunity.
That's nice, Eddie. That's nice. Hey. Oh, wait a second. Microphone. I don't need this. Well, I guess I can use it. I feel like Richard Lewis now. I don't know. I guess I'll use this microphone. Our next friend, ladies and gentlemen, Lonnie Anderson.
Words are the weapons of the comedians. He uses them to puncture pomposity and create laughter. And Richard, you use words better than almost anybody else. But here are two words Richard used several times in his life where the weapon was turned on himself and it was no laughing matter. The two words, I do.
Sometimes you could be in love with somebody and it's great, and you turn around and marry them. And I don't know, something happened when women get married, man, that you've been going with a long time. There's something about the attitude be. Good morning, dear. Good morning. How are you today? And women, y'all can be so cool. You love when a man be in love with you, because you can be some nasty bitches. Darling, please don't let me just give you the... Oh, God, are you calling again? God, Richard, please, just don't do this to yourself. I mean, why don't you go home and bathe or something like that? Just a minute, John.
Well, women seem to like you, though.
They do?
Yeah.
Who?
What?
Ian cannot graduate till a woman breaks your heart.
That is your diploma. It either kill you or make you fat.
Well, you get depressed. I've never been depressed before. Yeah. I got depressed and I couldn't work. It's been at least 10 months since I've been on this show. Yeah. But you called me a lot, but I just couldn't come on. I couldn't talk. I couldn't talk. I couldn't feel funny about it, you know?
Yeah.
Because it hurt.
Women get their heart broke, they cry. Men don't do that. Men hold that shit in like it don't hurt. Walk around and get hit by trucks. Say, didn't he see that truck? He said, motherfucker, he wouldn't have seen the 747. Because his heart was broke.
Feel the macho, man. I'm feeling young. I mean, I know I can make love 8, 9 times a night. What? Yes. I know I can. I just need a woman.
There are many people here tonight whose lives and careers have been affected by Richard. Some of them have recovered and would like to say a few words to him. Ms. Marsha Warfield.
Well, I really don't know what to say, but I guess like a lot of comics, Richard taught me how to be funny. But more than that, he always made me feel beautiful. When I first met him, I was there to do a little bit part on his show, on the Richard Pryor show. And he looked across the room at me. I was feeling kind of insecure and shy. And he smiled and he stuck out his hand. And I stuck out my hand. And he scratched my palm. You remember that, Richard? And I felt beautiful. And then one night at the Comedy Store, when I used to have to follow Richard, which was like the best training in the world. If you can follow Richard, you can follow anybody. And one night, he paid me the highest compliment I've ever gotten. He went on stage and asked me to come up first so that I didn't have to go through that humiliation of following Richard Pryor. And I've always loved him, and I've never really had the chance to thank him. Thank you very much.
Miss Elaine Boozler.
Richard, you will not remember this. It was just a small, wonderful kindness in 1973, and I guess you just toss them off, and people do toss off these things and go on with their lives, and it means so much to the person that is the beneficiary of that. I was starting out in 73. I was a waitress and trying to be a comedian, and I was hostessing in a club in New York, and I sat you. You came in, and you came in. It was incredible, and I was supposed to bring up the next comedian, and I thought, Richard Pryor's here. I'll do my few minutes that I know. And I went on, and I did several minutes of material, and it was just awful, and they just kind of stared at me, and I was finished. I don't think I would have done it again. I was just devastated, and I kind of looked out and said, well, how about a hand for the next comedian coming up here? And they just glared, and you stood up in the back and said, how about a hand for you, Mama? And you made them clap. You made them clap. It was incredible. And I, in the 18 years since, could have used you a lot in many of my gigs.
No salute to Richard Pryor will be complete without a few words from one of the comedians who was out there even before Richard. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Dick Gregory.
Let me first say, Richard, good evening, and second, let me say we thank and praise God for this evening. When Brother George called me, various people saying that why they here, I didn't want to be here tonight because like 20 years ago when I was 39, when you was making your first trip to Africa, you called Bob Johnson of Jet Magazine. You wanted to take a black brother with you. And I told Bob to tell you, I'm not about to go to Africa. I've never been to Africa. Them black folks over there is eating folks. And I told Bob to tell you, you can go by yourself. I'm going to Milwaukee and hang out with white folks where it's safe. So I come tonight to apologize. Africa is safe, Milwaukee's dangerous. Because, you know, this country has produced three geniuses in the field of comic. Mark Twain, Lenny Bruce, and you. The interesting thing that separates you, Mark Twain, Lenny Bruce, you used the Constitution, freedom of speech. Mark Twain did some stuff that cannot be released for 400 years after he's dead. You stood flat-footed and took the United States Constitution and said, I will exercise my freedom of speech. I will not change my experiences. You'll listen to it, and you won. And so I come here tonight to say to you, we thank you, because you see, in a system with racism and sexism, which breed hatred into all of us, and meanness and bitterness, but thank God, God gave us two antidotes to get rid of that poison. The minor one is called laughter. That's the job that we comedians have. And you just get out there and you talk about it and you make people laugh and it burns that poison up. God blessed us to be the minor one, and all of you all have to depend on us for the minor. But the major one, God put that burden on all of you. It's called forgiveness. Burns up poison in the body. And so, Richard, so you won't be let down tomorrow when you wake up after tonight, look around this room on your way out and remember, every one of us here had something to do tonight. So we're not here because we didn't have nothing to do. We're here to say we love you, brother. And thank you.
Mr. Bobcat Goldthwait.
I'm nervous. I'm terrified, more than usual. Well, this thing is gonna be televised, so I'd like to say this first. If you ever see me getting beaten up by the police, or if you see me getting beaten up by anybody, put the video camera down and help me. A different kind of experience than a lot of the comments I've heard tonight. When I was a teenager, my mother told me not to watch you. My mother's not a racist, she just, I don't know, but when she told me not to watch you, I knew you had to be really, really good. I knew there had to be something great going on there. So, I don't know, I guess, I don't know you very well, but I do owe you a lot. And the things I owe you, Dick kind of talked about it. It's the fact that because of you, I learned that I can talk about sex and not be sexist. And I can talk about gays and not be homophobic. And I learned that I can be cutting edge and not be racist. And there's a lot of hate in the world now, and there's a lot of hate in comedy. But there's a lot of people, you know, and they use you, like they say, well, Richard Pryor said these words, but when you said it, you meant it with love, and it was very healing. And I hate it when comics get maudlin and serious, so I think I'm gonna puke real quick here. It's nothing more pretentious than watching this. George Foreman said, are you gonna be funny? It's like, well, seeing that you're saying that, do I really have a choice in not being funny? So, all I say is that I owe you a ton. I wouldn't be in this business without you, without your inspiration, and I'm really, really glad I don't listen to my mother that much. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Academy Award winner, Mr. Louis Gossett Jr.
Love you, Richard. 22 years ago, Richard had a daughter. As a little girl, she decided she wanted to go into show business. When she was very young, Richard sat down with her and explained that he couldn't do it for her. She was going to have to study and work and learn and then fly away. In other words, she must do it on her own. His daughter listened, and that's what she did. She went out on her own and eventually became one of the stars of Head of the Class. A few months ago, when Richard was to have triple bypass surgery, she realized that as much as she loved her daddy, she couldn't recover for him, that he must also now go out and do it on his own. So she wrote a song for her father, reminding him of his own advice. Here's Richard's daughter, Rain Pryor.
When I look back into the mirror of life, when I have searched the depth of my soul, I see a shadow that I left behind. It used to be me, but now I can see. I've got to fly away. I've got to be free, yeah. I've got to fly away. I've got to be free, yeah. I've got to fly away. Now I am singing the songs that I feel, of peace and love, of being a reality. Don't you know I'm moving on? I found a dream up in the stars, above the sea. I'm on my way, up right there. Lord is coming to me. I'll fly away. I got to be free. I've got to fly away. I've got to be free.
Talked a lot about Richard and his humor and the effect he's had on all of us. Now, we have not talked about the demons and the dark side of Richard's life. Maybe we haven't talked about it, but Richard has.
I wasn't even close to being normal. I was ignorant. I couldn't stop drinking till the bartender say, "We got no more liquor."
Richard became an alcoholic. He also became addicted to drugs. In the movie Jojo Dancer, he relived that desperate moment when he realized if he kept using, he would die. But if he stopped using, he didn't think he could live.
It's a weird disease. If any of you people out there doing it, I know you ain't gonna believe this, but if you've been doing it longer than 2 weeks, you're a junkie. I'm telling you, and now I'm telling you so you'll know it. I'm talking about, I started out smoking, I would have a pipe and sit it down and walk 8 feet away from the man. Two days later, Jack, I would smoke, I go. One time it looked like I had an appendage on my hand, was a pipe. And I'd get mad and frustrated. People didn't understand me. The pipe say, "Come on in the room with me, I got you covered." I know how you feel, Rich. I understand. Just light me up, hold me for a couple of days, and we'll talk it over.
Richard did more than talk it over. He actually recreated that terrifying moment when he tried to take his own life by setting himself on fire. Order is vital signs. 90 over 50. Many thought he would never live, but in true Richard Pryor style, he even joked about it later on stage.
I was watching TV one night and they said I had died. I was bandaged up and they said,
Richard Pryor died 5 minutes ago.
woo, woo, woo. I'll tell you one thing, man. When that fire hits your ass, that will sober your ass up quickly. I mean, I was standing there on fire and something said, why, that's so pretty blue. You know what? That looks like fire! I want to say y'all gave me a lot of love when I was not feeling well, and y'all really, I appreciate it. Also, y'all did some nasty jokes on my ass, too. Oh, yeah, y'all didn't think I saw some of these since you love me so much. I remember this one, it strike the match like this. I said, what's that? Richard Pryor running down the street.
It overwhelms me to think about how nice people, that so many people love me, you know. I just feel different about people. And I'd like to thank everybody that sent me stuff and wished me well, because I'm really glad to be alive. I mean that.
It's my pleasure to introduce another very talented young man who makes films and does television specials, and he's a writer and an actor and a producer and a comedian. Another funny, talented, young black fellow, Mr. Robert Townsend. Robert!
Good evening. I just want to say, where can I start? Everybody got different pieces of Richard Pryor. They saw different things. And for me, the social commentary stayed with me in my heart because I saw a person that could make you laugh and then say something. And then I said to myself, well, that's what I want to do with my work. It's more than just the jokes. And so when I watch the clips and I think about you, I just want to say thank you for letting me know that I could do something more. And I'd like to share with you a character that I created like years ago. I'd like to share it with you. Everything must change. Nothing stays the same. But that's the way of time. Nothing and no one goes unchanged, unchanged. The young become the old.
Yeah, I know it's hard to believe I used to be a comedian. Yeah, but I used to be a comedian. Yeah. Yeah, this long time ago. Yeah. I remember the day they got the cure to AIDS. Yeah, a lot of happy people that day. I remember. But that ain't nothing. I'd hate to catch that nuclear disease they got out there now. Make all that noise. Boop, boop, boop. The other stuff used to be quiet. You know, it's quiet. Yeah. Then they dropped that bomb. World War III. I was on the front line. Yeah, they dropped that bomb. Now everybody's gray. No black, no white, no red, no yellow, just gray. Light gray and dark gray. Yeah. People still prejudice. People still prejudice. Just the other day, this light gray man called me a grigger. I said, don't call me no damn grigger, man. I got on the telephone, I called the NAACP. And all these dark gray men chasing after these light gray women, and the babies come out ash. Oh, you gotta go? Oh, come on, man, you can stay and talk to me some more. I'm depressing you. Hey, one day people ain't gonna be so messed up. is like that white boy wrote in the song. The white boy wrote it in the song. The one that got killed. He was in that insect group. Lennon. John Lennon. Imagine there's no heaven. You might say that I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. Hope someday you'll come and join us, and the world will be as one.